Hi, I'm Exesis, and this is HOI4, where we are playing the German Reich with expert AI. And last episode, we finally Anschlussed Austria, and we are just in the aftermath of that, of course. We do have some Gebirgsjägers here. We'll put them on the border with Austria, since they are the least friendly of all our neighbors at the moment. Of the ones that we are close to here. We don't need to assign any leader to them. They will be integrated into Student's army once he gets back. Alright, what more do we want to do here now then? We have... we want to design some aircraft, I seem to remember. We have... we're in March here, so that's fine. But we do have a bunch of air experience. So let's select here and we will see what we want to design first. So we want to design a medium recon aircraft. You can probably use the basic medium airframe here. Let's tack on some recon equipment. Heinz 126. I think that was a very small one. Let's see, we're not going to be making the Heinkel here. Which one do we pick? It doesn't really matter. Let's pick this one because we are making the Dornier 26, which was a float plane, and we should have the flying boats here. It gives it a little bit of extra range as well, and it gives it a little bit of detection, so we can do the maritime patrol if needed. But yeah, so this is just kind of the basic scout aircraft for us to use. These of course don't really matter here. These don't need to be using those tags. It can only do aerial recon, but we want to have a few of these anyway. So it's expensive, but it's because it's got 2 engines. I'll keep it at engine 1 though, because it really doesn't need to be fast, this one. We just needed to have have a decent amount of range so it can get where we want to. Maybe we could give it some extra fuel tanks actually. That might not be a bad idea. Let's add some extra fuel on it. It gives it a bunch of extra range. And production cost isn't too impacted by that. For experience, yes, that's fine. The Dorniers of course flew in May of 1938. We also want to get some... Do we want to do the large airframes first, maybe? We did do the Feisler 167 here before in the last episode as well, just to get those into production. We also want to upgrade the Junkers 89, and I think we need to use the basic airframe for this. We can check the design here. We've got a large bomb bay and loads of turrets. It's basically the same thing that's going to be here. Don't know it's saying the Dornier 19 because this is obviously the Junkers 90. And do we have... yeah, we don't have very many to pick from. But that's the one we got. It was a 4-engine design, of course. And defensive turrets. We don't have very much... the thrust to weight here is kind of abysmal. We can probably bump this up to level 2. That'll give us a little bit more. We're already on level 2. Maybe. Yeah, where we need to be there to be able to save it at all. The small light machine gun turrets don't actually take up any weight. We will keep a few of those on. We want to get some electronics here. Bomb sights are going to be good. Gain some extra strategic bombing. And radio navigation, do we want it or do we not? We can't have it because we don't have the weight for it. Let's just put on an extra turret. That'll cost us 10 experience, and we've got a slightly better crappy strategic bomber. We of course want to be building a few of these cooler designs that never actually did impact the war very much. That means we can obsolete the Junkers 89s. We're not going to be building any more of those. We want to add both of these into production, of course. No, we don't want to do that. Oh. Let's grab these and put them up a little bit. We want to have one. We probably want to put some, because we want to have these before the war. So we can actually start spying a little bit, and then they can be used as maritime patrol as needed be. So the Junkers 89, of course, is going to be transferred into a Junkers 90. We'll lose a lot of production efficiency doing that. But it's fine. We've got 25 of the worst models, and we get some new of the newer ones. We're building a 5 per year. Okay, we're going to design yet another aircraft as well. And the next one, of course, is the iconic, one of the most iconic bombers of the war. We want to have. Now we want to put some light machine guns on this one, and we're going to be using. And the only reason we're using light machine guns here is because in tactical ones we can only have medium bomber base. We don't want to have medium bomber base here. We want to be using the CAS weapons, the small bomb base. We're going to put. No, we need to be in the CAS weapons. We're going to put 2 of these small bomb base on this one. And we've got some light turrets. That's 3 of them. That's fine. We have some weight here. We want to use some radio navigation. We've got 2 level 2 engines. That's fine. And do we want to have anything else here? No, I think that's actually quite fine as it is. Do need to select a new picture here though, if we can find it. There we go. I think that should be it. That most definitely does look like. What is that? It could be. It could be either of these. No, it should be this one. And of course, if you haven't figured it out already, this is the Ju-88. And to make this one complete, we would really want to have the dive brakes on here as well. But this is a medium airframe, so we can't have the dive brakes on here. But because the Ju-88 was designed as a dive bomber, we're putting the machine guns there just because it did fill a kind of a heavy fighter role. Now, because these have a different loadout than the BF-110s, they will never actually be in the same squadrons, so they won't mix with each other. But yeah, so we're using some Ju-88s as well, and these are kind of a light bomber or fast bomber. It's the concept for these. We need to add these into production as well, and probably want to keep these up. Let's put them up with the scout planes. We want to have more factories going into that though. And I think that should be it for now. We can probably look a little bit at what we've got deployed. So we've got a bunch of these old tactical wings. We should probably be combining these up a little bit. Let's merge those two. This wing can probably be merged into a few of these other ones. And it's Dornier 23s we can keep. If we just disband this wing, we can keep these ATS reserves for these 4 wings instead. I think that is a better use of them. These are daytime bombers. I can stick around there for now. What more do we have to deploy? We don't really have any fighters to deploy. We did gain a bunch of CR-32s from Austria, it looks like. We got those Heinschels and some Dorniers. We can convert all of these into war ones into the Dornier 17s. Dornier 17s are kind of the same thing as the Ju-88s, except they're earlier. They've got some small bomb base, and they're on the light airframe, of course, so they won't mix with the Ju-88s either. They're made, and the big thing that they can do is port strikes. That's one of the things that the bomb, the small bomb base enables. Whilst the if you've got let's just remove that one. If you've only got the bomb locks, you won't be able to do the port strikes. And the same thing if you've got torpedo mountings. And then you can't do close air support. It's a small niche for the small bomb bay. You can do logistics strikes, port strikes, and close air support. Can't do naval strikes though. But that's the kind of a trade-off for that. Where were we? Yeah, we were just looking at aircraft. Ju-87s we are reinforcing in Spain. We haven't really got enough to... No, we can start putting up a wing of Ankles. Can start putting up a bunch of these wings actually. Let's just grab these. We're keeping those in reserve. We're keeping these in reserve as long as we are in Spain. Dornier 17s, yeah, let's put up a... Yeah, this shouldn't be reinforcing with anything else here. Let's select those for now. Got a few new wings at least. How are we doing in the air war down here now? Okay, so we're fighting one-on-one here. Shooting down 29 for 9 lost. It's a 1-to-3 kill ratio against the Soviets here. That's really good. Accident losses are horrendous, but they're gonna have the same accident losses as we do. How are we doing up here? We aren't actually fighting up here in this zone anymore. It looks like the Spanish aren't doing that either. Let's see if we can grind out this hill fight now. Okay, so the question of Yugoslavia. Following the return of Austria to the Reich, we now share a border with Yugoslavia. The government of Prince Paul has been fairly quiet about their stance on our proposed reordering of Europe. Perhaps we should remind them that the time will come when they must make a choice. And we will put the squeeze on them, of course. That event, I believe, leads up to an event where you actually get to invade Yugoslavia. Alright, so we finished oil processing here. We are in March of 38, so it's too early to do anything here. We could do oil refining. This is gonna help us too. We now got fuel supplies for a year instead of 100 days. Thanks to us, our refinery is now giving out 50% more. Yeah, we're both gonna no, still wanted to be in here. We still got to do the artillery there. We can do armor protection and engine upgrades now as well. We want to get those out of the way. Those would be high priority researches. I actually think the paratroopers would probably be quite high as well now. 100 days. And then it takes 180 days to train paratroopers as well. And we need to build up a template. Yeah, let's grab the paratroopers. We will be using a decent amount of paratroopers and no cheesing, of course, with the paratroopers because that's no fun. Are we actually everyone in this fight? Yes, everyone's in. Let's attack into that hill tile. So we're just trying to grind up the hill fight now as much as possible. And at the same time, we're actually trying to win this war. Okay, so we unlock the basic medium tank chassis, and now this is gonna give us a variant. But we want to grab the improved engine. So if we go into our production tab here, you can see that we have unlocked the basic medium tank chassis. Let's actually get rid of some of these old ones because we don't need to be looking at them. And we can... No, we don't need to keep these here either, I think. Okay, so we got the kind of basic Panzer III. And this design differs a little bit from the vanilla design you get. Mainly that it has a smaller turret. It's got a 3-man turret, but it's a light 3-man turret. It gives us a 14, whereas the one you will get in vanilla will get you the 3-man turret here on the medium one. The Panzer III actually had a smaller turret than the Panzer IV. And because this is a small turret, of course this is locked to using small armaments. We don't have any medium armaments, but even if we did, we couldn't put them on this one. And we start off with just the basic small cannon. And we don't have anything else unlocked to put on it either. Whilst in vanilla you get the basic high velocity cannon on the Panzer III. Which doesn't really make sense. They had the basic high velocity cannons or high velocity cannon on them later on, but there was an ordinary small cannon on the first models. And they also got the boogie suspension. And it did get a torsion bar suspension a little bit later on. We'll add that in later on too. It gets us to talk a little bit about different things. Engine is maxed out and armor has been lowered a little bit just so we got the speed at 8 there. So this is a design we will put straight into production. This would be the Panzer III-A, more or less, or A to D. They kind of go under the same umbrella. There wasn't very many big changes to the models during that time. We put these up under the tanks. How are we doing for factories on our fighters? We got the scouts here. Those are not as high priority as a lot of these other things, especially in regards to rubber. Let's actually put them underneath there, I think. And then we're just waiting for the Junkers 88s to get some factories before we move them down. And we'll see if we need to import some more rubber once we do. Yeah, Rundstedt's portrait is messed up here for whatever reason, but he is actually assigned. Okay, yes, we keep on going there. No, we can actually take this hill tile. Or we can help out to clear out these hills instead down on the south side. Okay, they are fighting us in hills. That is perfectly fine. So now they're done with that. We'll go down that way. When we finish the naval effort, we also have political power that we need to spend. And the expansion of our navy should be our first priority. Assign all available resources to new dockyards and research into light surface ships. The destroyers that we should actually be looking into upgrading our destroyers as well. We will now take the time to do a U-boat effort because we've got exactly 70 days before we need to move along on the next chain of events. That'll give us some dockyards, and as you can see, it adds both the cruiser and the midget submarine hulls. Don't know if we're going to use the midget submarine hulls, but I thought they'd be fun to have access to, so I added them in there. Otherwise it's the same. It's not mutually exclusive with Plan Z either, as it is in vanilla, but we'll see if we even get down to Plan Z. I just wanted us to actually be able to do some of these once the tech tree starts finishing out. Let's have a quick look here at this Spanish Civil War, this one. It does look like Spain is quite, but they still hold both Madrid and Valencia. And they have lost Malaga down here and Sevilla. I don't think they actually start with Sevilla. And Barcelona, of course, is in a different nation at the moment. Yeah, we needed to check on our political power. We actually lost the political power because we selected. Let's just do it that way. We gain the political power back. Okay, so now that we have the political power, let's come in here and we will select Blomendvos for our ship designer. It'll decrease our surface visibility of all ships, of all new designs. Which of course is going to help our submarines most of anything, but it'll also help our capital ships if any new capital ships we design. And we are starting to run low here on the destroyers. We've got the 36s here as well. They can keep in production. We want to get these 34s out of the dockyards. But I think it is time to upgrade these 1936s. And we don't actually have a radar to put on them yet. That's a little bit of a shame. We will upgrade the sonars. Don't think we've actually got any other technology to upgrade them with. But this is going to be the, if we spell it correctly, of course. And this is going to be, this is the 1938 class. We are in 1938 now. I believe these weren't actually, they were never actually built. It was a 1936 C class that were built, and then focus just shifted completely into submarines. We want to have a surface fleet though, so we're going to go with this. I don't think we've got any other rapid fire guns. We want to upgrade these. And there were supposed to be 24 of these designed, and there was a smaller one. It was a larger variant and a smaller variant. Large variant would be for the ocean-going fleet, and the smaller one for the Baltic and the North Sea. But we'll start putting these into the water, I think. Historical destroyers, that's fine. Yes, we'll just save this. We won't waste time on this. Let's put them in there, and we'll just put this one on perpetual production for now. It does look like the Scharnhorst has been put to sea. I've got one too many chromium now, and since we're importing chromium, I don't like that at all. 19 February and September. September is, well, if we know the historical dates, that's 8 days too late for the war, right? Let's add another factory in here. And let's grab it from there. We do want to get more of these submarines out, and I think get these finished off as well. So let's just move a couple of factories up. Yeah, that'll be fine. The Blucher. We probably would want to have 5 dockyards there as well. Yeah, I think we'll do it this way. That's fine. We just want to see if we can get the Seydlitz, which should be the next one in line after this, out to sea as well. It might be possible. They don't think Seydlitz was actually put to sea, or she was put to sea, but she was never finished. We just look which ones we have in queue here. The Prince Eugen is the next one, and then the Seydlitz and the Lutzov were slated to be converted to aircraft carriers. Prince Eugen was launched too, I think. We want to try to keep that one get that one into the water. We also want to see if we can design the. This is weird. Oh yeah, because the Scharnhorst is counted as a battle cruiser, of course. Let's get rid of those. Can get rid of the hull there as well. Let's get rid of those. It would be nice if we could upgrade the Deutschland. They need some new floatplane catapults. I'll probably do with an anti-air upgrade as well as another secondary battery on here too. Radar. We probably want to wait for the radar before we do anything there. And before we do any kind of refits, we'd like to have the nodes over here, right? No, it's this one. Naval refit yards would be nice to grab before that. We're not going to be grabbing so many of those. Naval experience is easy to come by. Okay, that's a plains tile, that is a mountain tile. How are we doing now? We are at 72. Let's just go up to those 2 tiles. Okay, so we finished the heavy batteries. Let's attack into there. This of course is very good. This is the main batteries for our battleships. We can't zoom out when we're in here. I'm a little bit tempted to try to get the basic dual purpose batteries. I think this gives us the secondary battery as well. Yeah, it gives us both the rapid fire guns. You get both level 1 and level 2s at the same time. Don't really know why, but that's the way it is. It would be nice to be able to, when we do our refits, That is quite a long time. 137, 110. That's 240 days. But I think we've got everything that we need to have. Yeah, we're just waiting for the radar, of course, and the improved fire control systems. We might have to refit the improved fire control and radars even on the Bismarcks. I think that's probably the... Oh, we don't really have the dockyards for it at the moment either. We might be a little bit delayed in putting those in the water, but if we are going to be delayed for it, we keep one here on naval technology for now. Got one on armor technology, 2 on electronics at the moment, and then the paratroopers that we also want to get done. There's a lot of things that you want to get done as Germany. And I'm not sure having even 6 research slots would give you everything you want. Yeah, we're not interested in fighting in the hills. Or fighting in the plains, we just want to be fighting in hills at the moment. And if we just get them up close enough, we'll be able to finish it off in Poland then later on. It all depends on how fast they take Madrid, of course. We're getting there. Okay, so we've got insufficient... Oh, -1 rubber. That's not the end of the world. Okay, and this, of course, is a very, very fast research. So small caliber semi-armor piercing shells. We will go a little bit ahead of time here. Or... no, we might actually want to wait. How much ahead of time penalty do we have here? 16%, which is 16... no, it's probably not 16 days. Yeah, it should be about 16 or 25 days. The base cost is 100. Yeah, maybe. No, it's a lot more. If we do that, we can get them onto the ships ahead of time, or when we are producing them. I think that's 150 days. That should be by the end of the year. Okay, so if we're aiming to get the Bismarcks into dockyard by December or something, that should be fine. That's nothing we want to do in here. No, the MIFO builds are timing out again, that's why it's showing, and that just increases the political power cost of them. We are... it's not that bad at the moment. We just did the Anschluss, so... Okay, and we will not sign the Turkish investment portfolio. We will skip out on those because they just keep coming. And okay, we are not getting our rubber from France anymore. Well, if the French don't want to give it to us, we will have to grab it from someone else. Belgium. That's also factories that helping them build more factories will help us in the long run. Do we want to do anything else here? No, not really. We want to... next is probably to get the tank designer in line here. And material designer theorist. I've got a good few options here as well. No, we're soon done with these. No, why are you down there? First of all, everyone, all of these 3 on this. We will move that one up, remove that one. And actually we probably want to have everyone on this tile. Makes more sense for us. And attack into there. Alright, so we finally got the radio detection. We of course want to go straight down into dissymmetric radar. This unlocks the naval search radar. And radar of course is very important for the air combat. And we're gonna need to do that. We probably need to rescue our agent here as well. Yeah, we've got 170 days. Let's make sure that we get him out of there. And I think we put her on return to her position afterwards. Okay, so they've got a lot of activity here. We might want to keep someone over there as well then. And this is Heinkel bombers. Kind of want to move these out somewhere. Where are we going to be using these? I'm not really sure where we want to base them up from. Let's put them down there for now. And we will move the Heinkels up here. And we will add another wing of Heinkels in here. And we're starting to get some scout aircraft there as well. Thought maybe we would have some Heinkels left here, but turns out that's not the way. Now we do want to put some... I saw that we were starting to get some scout planes here. I think these actually go into a wing of 10. When you design them this way, yes. And you can see that range is just absolutely massive. And that's going to be really helpful. Put them over England on aerial recon. Daytime I think is enough. We don't need the extra accidents chance. And what more do we have going on here? We need these carriers, the carrier fighters of course there. Yeah, let's leave that as it is. And come back down here to Spain. We are currently fighting there. There's no enemy aircraft here at the moment. So let's move up here, I think. No, they're not here either. Yes, they are active enemy aircraft and 100 there. But moving them up here means we should be actually getting some kind of... Okay, the Czechs are also invading us with spies. Okay, so we finished the U-boat effort. That unlocks the midget submarine and the cruiser submarine. So thank you very much. And Commodore Dönitz advocates a strategy of unrestricted submarine warfare as the best way of bringing Britain to its knees. With enough U-boats, we might be able to starve the British home industries of all the required resources from its far-flung empire. And that is indeed something that we really want to do. That gives us 2 more dockyards and a little bit of research bonus for submarine tech. Okay, and being Germany, of course, we just did the Anschluss and we are kind of eyeing our ways to the Sudetenland. And we have the required 725,000 manpower for this. We are up at 873. Of course, for a Danziger war, you need to be up at 950. So that's kind of the aim you need to be at. But we are going for Sudetenland now. That should put us in September. Once that event pops. Let's just cycle down here a little bit. Yeah, we are soon up at 90% there. We're gonna have a good general for invading. Okay, Madrid has fallen. But I think once Valencia falls, this side of the Spanish Civil War should finish up, which of course leaves the regional defense countess of Aragon in a bit of a pickle, as they're gonna have a lot of troops on their border. Okay, they're actually running the last stand here, which is good for us. That prolongs the combat. Got the improved engine for our tanks, so we can actually upgrade them a little bit more. This is going to be really key. We're going to need the improved armor protection as well. It's maybe not that important, but might as well just get it out of the way. Looks like we have been able to... Okay, it should be launching any second now then. And let's get back to a sane viewpoint. Okay, so we can probably just finish these off here. And we'll see once we actually be able to, once we gain that trait, we can work with the mountaineer instead. Okay, let's go in there. Is that a hill as well? I think it is. Yes, let's close down this, or help close down this pocket down here. It's hills, all of these. Are we actually in this fight? Yes, we are. We are 96 for both of them. And we unlock the computing machine. That means we need to go down to improved fire control systems. And that puts us on 82 days, and we're not going to get those in time, are we? We're going to get the radar and fire control in time though. And let's just keep going here in the war for a little bit. Okay, and that's another hill tile. We don't really want to help them with this. Let's get up here as soon as possible. And we turned an enemy agent. That gives us one to recruit. And we captured a Bolivian agent. And we need to deactivate strategic redeployment. We will just go for the mountaineer here first. Pop in here for a little bit. And we gain the... so close to both of them here. Okay, so the Panay incident. American and British gunboats were attacked by Japanese aircraft in separate actions today, while evacuating Western civilians from the front lines in the war between Japan and China. Despite being clearly marked as an American vessel, the USS Panay was hit by 2 bombs and sunk, with 3 Americans and 1 Italian citizen killed and others wounded. In a separate attack on HMS Ladybird, 1 British sailor was killed. Both the American and British governments have issued strong protests. The incident highlights the increasing tension between the 3 foremost naval powers. Does Japan have no limits? How is Japan doing over here in East Asia? Let's see, they are just rolling over China. So they are becoming a really big superpower over on this side of the world. We better get started on our side of the deal, right? Let's keep attacking in here. Let's make sure that we actually gain our traits here before the war finishes. Let's go in there for a bit. And the 4th International. Oh, the events just keep on popping. A number of communist delegates from around the world met in Paris today for the founding conference, laying the groundwork for what has been known as the 4th International. Calls for its formation have existed for years, with supporters of Trotsky's theories taking the lead. Stalin has responded to the growing support for Trotskyism abroad by ordering additional assassinations and increasing propaganda against his old rival. With the past purges of suspected Trotskyists in the high ranks of the Soviet military and leadership in recent memory, this is unlikely to be met with any resistance. How many internationals will there be? And this gives us a change in popularity of communism. We of course are trying to eradicate this. We are working our way with Goebbels. And we're up to 74% now. That of course will change down a little bit, so we lost almost 4% to the communists. And here goes the Munich conference. Let's actually go back up to Germany. We can actually see what's happening here. Talks have been held in Munich between the leaders of Germany, Britain, France and Italy to discuss the future of Czechoslovakia. Both the British and French have accepted our claims to the Sudetenland as legitimate, and their previous offers of support to the Czechs have been resided. Recognizing the hopelessness of their situation, the Czechs have surrendered the Sudeten territories to us. Their oppressed German inhabitants will at long last be brought into the fatherland. This is an historic day for Germany. And Sudetenland is now a core territory. Eastern Sudetenland is now a core territory. And we also become owners of the Eastern Sudetenland. We should gain the Sudetenland as well, right? It's weird that it says it in that way. And Poland also gets a Zolsi down here. And it's something we'll have to take from them later on, of course. So we gain some base stability. That won't help us the slightest, since we are at our cap. However, it will increase this the base value there to 85. And that base value, of course, will help us greatly once we actually go to war. Because then we gain a pretty hefty malus to the stability modifier. We also gain some extra war support, which doesn't really make that big of a difference for us at the moment. We gain some extra command power. Oh, we are at our cap. Maybe we should be looking a little bit at that too. So I think in the next episode we'll probably finish off our command power there and look into our navy. We've probably been capped for quite some time. Looks like we've got some things to take care of here as well. But this is an historic day for Germany. So let's just get rid of that one there. German demands for the Sudeten territory in Czechoslovakia, which is home to a considerable German minority, have been intensified. At a summit held in Munich, Germany, Britain, France and Italy sought to find a diplomatic solution to the so-called Sudeten crisis. Czechoslovakia was not invited to attend. An agreement was reached in which Germany annexes Sudetenland, but will not pursue any further territorial gains in Europe. Mr. Chamberlain spoke to the crowds in London. For the second time, a prime minister has returned from Germany, bringing peace with honor. I believe it is peace for our time. Peace for now, at least. The fate of the Sudeten Germans was one of the worst injustices inflicted by the Treaty of Versailles. They must be brought under our protection, regardless of Czech objections. And the next stop on the route, of course, is the first Vienna Awards. So let's grab that one there. And I think we will deal with all of these there. How are we doing down here? And we have gotten the Mountaineer trait here as well, which gives us attack, movement and defense in the mountains. Hellfighter is almost done. We need another 9 points of experience into that, and then we will be able to gain adaptable as well. But that will be for the next episode. We can actually do it this way. Let's start our assault there, and we won't forget it in the next episode. And we will deal with all of these notifications then as well. I'm not really sure how long they've been there, but I don't think they've been there for very long. But a little bit of construction to do and so on. So thank you all for watching. Take care and see you next time.